There's a lovely feeling you get when you hand over a credit card and you don't even bother checking the balance. Confidence, control, and the quiet belief that you're a man who can handle it. And from my late 20s and into my early 30s, that was me. I had a salary which was steady, it was reliable, and I had a pay rise most years. And my debt, oh, it was there. A few cards, a small loan, but I called it manageable. And I believed it. Because the minimum payment was always cleared, because the bank kept offering me more, and because nobody was knocking on my door to collect money from me. And the spending wasn't reckless, and that's what I told myself anyway. Shirts from places I had no business shopping in, rounds of drinks that I insisted on buying, tickets to gigs, gifts that were a bit too generous, because if I could provide, it meant everything was fine. It meant I was fine. Credit was cheap. The banks didn't just offer it, they threw it at me like confetti, and I tried to catch every piece. Life was great. Mortgage was comfortable. The car was fine. There were no kids at the time. I had the professional title and a steady job. Or at least, the mask was great. I couldn't see the difference yet. Then came the worldwide financial crash, and the frost that had been creeping towards everyone else's door suddenly took a shining to me. Interest rates climbed, and the mortgage stopped being a monthly annoyance and started to become a drain. Kids were now in the picture, and as every parent knows, that means expensive. I was trying to be a present father, but the worry about finances was getting louder. The frustration was physical. I couldn't do the things I used to do. I couldn't say yes the way that I used to say yes. And for a brain like mine, a brain I didn't understand yet, that loss of freedom, that loss of novelty, hit different. It wasn't just tightening my belt, it felt like something vital was being switched off. So instead of cutting back, I doubled down. Not dramatically, just quietly. A bit more on the card here. Transfer that balance over there. Nothing a capable man couldn't handle. But the water was rising, and I was standing on my toes. 2015 was a warning I thought I'd listen to, but I didn't. Redundancy was on the table at work. For a few months, I sat with a very real possibility that the salary holding everything up could disappear. Some unbelievably stressful months, which, in the end, I kept my job. The threat had passed. But, instead of taking that as a signal to get serious, I took a different message. I vowed to not be in this position again, and thought that I had taken steps to minimise the risk. I consolidated by moving debt onto the mortgage. It's a trick that feels like magic. Suddenly, the number is manageable again. The breathing room returns, and the weight that was starting to crush me lifted. I told myself, just don't build it up again. But I might as well have just told the tide not to come in. After a scare like that, most people stay cautious. I went looking for an exit. I started selling off everything I'd accumulated over the years on eBay. All the impulse buys, the so-called investment purchases, the stuff that just filled the cupboards and the shelves. £1,000 brought in a couple of weeks, easy. And that ease gave me a dangerous idea. What if I could buy things in bulk and sell them for more? What if I could be the business and not just the employee? Oh man, I cringe saying this back. But I bought a pallet of wellies, hundreds of them. Shifted the lot of them within a week for twice what I paid. A profit wasn't as clean as it looked once you factored in the packaging, the fuel to the post office, and all the hours taken. But the feeling was extraordinary. There was movement and there was purpose. My garage was full of boots and my brain was absolutely lit up. I didn't recognise it then for what it was: hyperfocus, chasing dopamine, an undiagnosed ADHD brain finding its drug. I just thought, I found my thing. From Wellies, I moved to trainers and branded sportswear. And let me tell you, I'm one of those Gen X trainer obsessives. And suddenly, I didn't just have a side hustle, I had a business. At least, that's what I called it. The house filled with boxes and started to look like a warehouse. The sales figures looked great. The actual profit, when I sat down and worked it out properly, was another story. But I wasn't sitting down to work it out properly. That kind of slow, methodical accounting requires a different type of sustained focus that I simply didn't have. But what I had was momentum, and the internet was full of people who could sell me more of it. Courses, masterclasses, systems, blueprints, a few hundred here, 1,000 there. An investment, I told myself, it's just a matter of time. And looking back now, that phrase, just a matter of time, became the lid I pressed down on every warning sign I had. The day job was getting harder. Juggling a full-time career with a business that needed constant attention was tearing me in two. And my undiagnosed ADHD made that even worse than it sounds. Switching between roles isn't just tiring when your brain works like mine, it's genuinely debilitating. The answer, I decided, was automation. Amazon FBA. Source a product from China, build a brand, let the machine do the work. Another course, another 7-step program, another mastermind. More business credit and personal guarantees I signed without fully reading. But 6 months later, I had 6 figures in revenue. I'll say that again. 6 figures in revenue. That sounds like a success story, but revenue isn't profit. Profit is what's left after the product cost, the storage fees, the returns, the advertising, the accountant, and the loan repayments. And when I looked at what was actually left, genuinely left, the number was very different. I was a 6-figure business owner, in deep personal debt, running a company that only existed to service the money I'd borrowed to create it. A snake eating its own tail. Just a matter of time. There came a day where I simply couldn't pay. No restructure left to try. No card left with room. My focus at work had slipped. How could it not have? And the income I'd always relied on wasn't what it had been. I was nearly 50 years old, standing in a life I had built with my own hands, and it was collapsing. The worst part wasn't the numbers. It was a day when my family needed me to be present. Really fucking present. And I wasn't there. I was somewhere else entirely, drowning in calculations I couldn't solve. And shame I couldn't speak out loud. I hit a wall I didn't see coming. And when you hit the wall, the person who suffers isn't just you. I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognise the man looking back. Something had to give, and eventually everything did. In the next video, I'm going to take you to a moment that broke me. And I mean that literally. 200 miles from home, on a petrol station forecourt, my teenage son beside me, and the quiet, nauseating terror of not knowing whether a credit card was going to be declined. That's the reality of debt that's gone too far. It's not spreadsheets, it's not interest rates. It's standing in a petrol station forecourt praying. If any of this sounds familiar, if you're holding something like this on your own, stay with me. I'm finding a way through. All I can do is share what I'm doing about it. But remember this, It may be a long road, but there is always a way out.